That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about episode 7 of 9 Perfect Strangers, which is titled Wheels on the Bus, which bowed on September 17th, 2021. We're down to the finish here.
As promised, we will finish the series.
Although at this point it's about as exciting as being on the last day of your Z-Pack. What?
You received the first 6 episodes as a screening link, so we were able to watch those right away, like a month ago. And then we have to wait for 7 and 8 to air on Hulu. So that's why this one and the next one are and will be a little late. All right, this episode opens with Masha having the recollection of the little girl on the bike who we weren't sure was either Masha as a young girl or her daughter, but we find out it's her daughter, Tatiana, getting hit by a car and dying.
And the impetus for her leaving Russia, which makes no sense, because then she became this powerful CEO or whatever. Anyway.
Okay, the first half of the episode revolves around all of the strangers tripping balls because, as we know from the previous episode, their doses had been increased and everyone's just tripping. Carmel is hallucinating. She thinks, or she claims to think, Masha is Lillian, the woman who her ex-husband left her for, Carmel's ex-husband. So Carmel assaults Masha and punches her in the face, claiming she thinks she's Lillian. So Carmel has to be dragged off and tied down to a medical table. So Masha is thinking okay, we need to reduce everyone's doses. However, she wants to proceed with increasing the Marconi's doses. So the family, the mom, the dad, and the daughter, so they can have a hallucination or they can visit their dead son, Zach. But Lars, the investigative reporter, is saying no, I know that guest who died a year ago here, he died from you trying to do the same dosing. So you shouldn't be doing this. But Masha assures him it's safe. But we realize the reason she's doing this is because she wants to create the perfect dose recipe so she can see her dead daughter.
I feel like there's a lot easier ways to do this than develop this super elitist medical facility compound that invites all these people there to experiment on drugs so that you could psychically recall your dead daughter.
You could just invite some friends over. I mean, it's very easy to get people to use drugs. She could just be hey, come over and let's play with some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a very elaborate, risky approach to do this.
Yes.
But, okay, so there's that. But the gag of the episode is the last 5 minutes because we find out, and as we'll recall, Masha sees visions, or we as the audience recall Masha being shot in that underground parking garage. Okay, so Masha's visiting Carmel because Carmel keeps saying, I need to see Masha. I want to make sure she's not mad at me for whooping her ass. So they're talking when Carmel takes out her contact lens and we see that Carmel has 2 color eyes. One is brown and one looks like a fish eye.
Heterochromia.
And then we recall Masha being shot and we see the person who shot her also had that same eye color pattern. And we see that it was Carmel. So Carmel...
dressed up as a man.
As a man with a painted on mustache.
Much like Michael Caine in Dressed to Kill.
Shot Masha. Presumably because she cheated on her husband.
Which Masha admitted earlier.
Yeah. The end.
I'm appreciative that something has actually happened in this series, but this could have clipped along. This could have been at the 45-50 minute mark in a movie.
Or episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels very late in the game. Especially when we learn in episode 5 that Carmel has this history with Masha. So it just seems kind of pointless that at this late in the game we're getting this bombshell.
Yes, I agree.
I don't have many other notes except The other strangers are kind of tripping, but the main one we focus on is, of course, Frances, Melissa McCarthy's character. And her sort of hallucination is that Tony, what's that actor's name?
Bobby Cannavale.
He's reciting lines from one of Frances's books, and they're like romance type novels, so they put him in like a Fabio wig with like the open shirt trying to seduce her, when really he's just reciting lines she wrote. And Frances approaches Masha like, I need to know, is this real? Like, is this the drugs talking, or does Tony really want to be with me? Like, it's the drugs, bitch!
It's the drugs. We also get she has a vision of herself as a child.
Which I didn't understand what that was supposed to tell us.
I think I was doodling during that. But, and also I do like the film Breakfast at Tiffany's, but I do not like the song Moon River. And that was the Audrey Hepburn singing Moon River is the accompanying song to her childhood memory, which I thought was so grating, but that might be just a personal bias.
Something else that happens in this episode is Delilah, one of the attendants, she's fed up. She's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to have someone die again. I'm out. So she packs her shit up, gets in her truck, and goes to the gate, which is like this, very secure, tall gate, and calls Masha to open it, and Masha won't open it. So Delilah flips out. And literally, if the gate is right in front of her, if she turns 10 degrees, there's like the kind of gates you see at like a farm stable, like horse farm, like two wooden poles, columns, that a person walking could easily just duck and walk out of the compound. So that seems stupid. So Delilah just runs through it and drives off. And she does say she's going to let the police know. So that's important to know. And then one cringy scene is Carmel is given like a sedative. And then we get a scene of her singing Xanadu.
Yeah, it's in her head, I guess, but she's dancing around manic in her locked little area.
I'm sure when Regina Hall read this script and she saw who was attached, she thought, this is it. Like, this is quality shit. But I just wonder, like, when she read this scene of her dancing on the bed to Xanadu, I'm sure she wasn't thinking it would be this corny. Or that she would have this awful wig on.
Okay,
and these terrible close-ups.
The wig is getting to a point where it's giving her just a straight up blockhead. Like, her head is shaped like a block.
It's a terrible hairstyle.
It is terrible. And another thing the casting is so, even with the people they have in the mix, the casting, I think, to me, would have been so much more interesting if Regina Hall was Frances, Melissa McCarthy character, and Melissa McCarthy was this jilted woman.
Certainly, based on aesthetics, I think that would be a better casting choice.
But also what it does is it sets up this same old tired trope of like this hysterical, mad black woman. Like, she's the one that can't keep it together. Out of all these people, she's the one that has to lose it. And then it also made me, because I wasn't really questioning Masha's whole, I got shot in a parking lot by this like black man for apparently no reason, and kind of the uncomfortable way that plays with stereotypes too. Like, we just accept that is something that happens to white businesswomen. I don't know. I just again, it's trying hard to be provocative, like Masha's lesbian kiss with Delilah, but in ways that don't feel interesting or sincere.
I don't have anything else.
No, I'm looking forward to us finally finding out what exactly this was supposed to be about.
And we better find out Masha's not really Russian.
Yeah.
Because
something tells me, now that we know that she had a kid that died in Russia, she probably is, but
otherwise I'm contacting the Russian consulate, and I'm going to write a strongly worded letter of complaint, because this is outrageous.
We need better language accent coaches.
Anything else?
No.
Bye.
Bye.